Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Woman Warrior Tribe podcast. In this episode, I got to interview Elaine, or also known as the Jiu Jitsu Grandma. And on Instagram, you can reach her at jujitsu_grandma. If you don't know how to spell Jiu Jitsu by this point, you gotta Google it and just learn how to spell. But I loved talking to Elaine. I learned just a lot of great things about her, like when she was talking about how she started jiu-jitsu. At first I assumed, and I'm always wrong when I assume, but I assumed that when she started jiu-jitsu, it was just like something she needed to do to, try out like something new. And maybe she's never done anything like jiu-jitsu. But when you get to know Elaine throughout the podcast, you'll hear that she is such an adventurous woman. She's super adventurous. She's super outgoing, and she's a grandma, and she does fun things for her grandchildren. And just her talking about all the things she does, you'll see that it wasn't a surprise that she eventually got into jiu-jitsu at the age of 69. And she just likes to keep her life spicy and to live life to the fullest. So I hope you enjoy this podcast with Elaine, and I hope I get to talk to her again sometime. But yeah, let me know how you like it. Subscribe, like, and follow Woman Warrior Tribe on Instagram. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe. Check us out on Spotify podcasts. And yeah, that's all. Have a great day. Hello, Elaine. Welcome to the Woman Warrior Tribe podcast. My name is Serena, like I mentioned to you earlier. It's so great to have you on.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, ma'am. So where exactly are you? Like, oh, not exactly, but where generally are you? Like in the US?
I'm a little south of Birmingham, Alabama, in the
Oh,
country. I live in the
wow.
country.
I saw one of your posts on Instagram probably like a year ago, I think, when I really saw you. And I know I followed you, and I thought, dang, this lady's cool, man. Like she is just doing what she wants to do, and not, not, I mean, I think it's pretty self-explanatory on your Instagram account. So Jiu-Jitsu Grandma, that's your name. Jiu-Jitsu_grandma. Can I ask, like, what made you choose that name? And yeah, what made you choose that name?
I actually didn't choose it. My professor asked me to get on Instagram. I didn't know what Instagram was, so I went to my granddaughter who's in college, and I said, "Mackenzie, will you help me?" And she set up the account and named me Jiu Jitsu Grandma. My granddaughter Mackenzie.
Oh
So
my
that's
gosh. Well, I think it's great that you or she and you went with it, right? But I personally think it's a great kind of like way to show people, to introduce people to who you are, what you do in jujitsu especially. And I think it's just like it'll inspire people, I guess, because like when people start jujitsu, they think it's like only for people who are really, like, I guess, competitive, or and you actually are competitive, as you've told me. So I love that. But the term grandma, jujitsu grandma, like I think it's actually just a really great way for people to look at who you are on Instagram and be like, this lady is not ashamed of who she is, and she's embracing jujitsu. And at whatever, just for anybody who's reading it, it's like no matter who you are, what you do, what age you are, what you're going through, it's like you can do whatever you want, and especially jujitsu. Jujitsu is for anybody and everybody. All right, so tell me a little bit about yourself. You could start off from the very beginning, or you could start off from wherever you want.
I'm 73 years old. I'll be 74 in October. I started jiu-jitsu when I was 69, which my professor thinks I may be the oldest one to ever start
Wow.
jiu-jitsu. It's a hard sport. But I really, really like it. I actually took a judo course when I was in my 20s, 6 week course, and I liked it a lot, but they didn't teach it when we got back to our hometown town. My husband was in graduate school in South Alabama. So I just forgot about it. And then
Yeah.
when I was 69, I found out that the gym down the street taught judo. And so I just called them and said, "Do you take old people?"
Oh,
And he said, "Sure, come on." So I did. And I was the only female in the class. I mean, it was teenage boys and older guys, 30-year-olds. But I hung in there for quite a while. And then he said, "Why don't you try jujitsu?" And it was on the next mat. And
yeah.
he taught both. So I just moved over to the jujitsu mat and took both for quite a while. And then I sort of settled into jujitsu. I really like that wrestling fighting thing.
Yeah. Yeah. The hugging and the, what is it called? Folding. I think they call it folding clothes with people in it. Um, what is it? What else is
I'm
it
the one
called?
that gets folded. Yeah.
Huh?
I'm usually the one that gets folded.
Oh, I am.
But
Yeah, me too.
I've got 3 kids. I've got 7 grandkids. My kids think I'm nuts. The grandkids think it's cool. And my husband is just whatever you want to do is fine with me.
Wow.
So
That's that's awesome. Did you inspire any of your family members to get into it?
they think it's too hard.
Oh
That's
no.
it's ringing in. They just think it's too hard. I'm trying to get one of my grandson who's 10 to. I'm talking his mother into letting him try it. He would like it, but they live a long way away. They're 30 minutes from the gym. I'm 40 minutes myself.
Yeah.
So, and it's at a time when she's trying to feed the horses and the dogs and the cats, and so timing is
Mm,
great. But we'll see. We'll see. I have
yeah.
high hopes.
Well, I think if you keep bothering them, they'll eventually give in. And well, that's great. I really do hope that they at least, your grand will like join and they'll see how fun it is because it really is fun and it's a great way for kids to let out their energy and also just know how to defend themselves. So, yeah.
I think that's important. I do.
Yeah. So you've said you've been in it for 4.5 years.
Mhm.
Yeah. And you competed. Can you tell me a little bit about your competition history? First of all, what inspired you to compete?
I had no interest in competing. I'm just telling you. But my professor said to me, "I'm going to take you to the World Masters." And I'm going, "I've never competed." And he said, "Well, that will be your first." And I said, "I'm not a blue belt." He said, "You will be by the time you get there," which was about. And I went, "Oh, great." So that's how I got there. I mean, he literally just said, "You're going." And I went, "Okay."
That's
So I fought,
awesome.
and I won one, I lost one, I tied two, which went to my opponent. But I did at least win one, and that is the only one I have ever won. All the ones I've been to
Wow.
the twice, I've been to the Pan Americans twice, I think, and some
Yeah.
smaller ones. I'm usually fighting girls that are a good bit younger than me and usually heavier than me. So
Yeah.
if I 5 minutes, I feel like I've won the match, at least I feel good about it if I can hang in the. Sometimes I have to tap, but I normally can manage to hang in for the full 5 minutes. At my age, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. And I think that's just a great example for those who are thinking about competing, no matter what age again. It's like, yeah, just go compete. It's fun. So you said worlds, all right. And then you said, I know you mentioned Pan Am Games or the Pan Ams, and that was where was that in Florida, right? I think at the
Florida.
time.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's convenient too. Yeah, that it's closer. How was your experience there?
It was great. You always meet really nice people. I mean,
Yeah.
the ones against wind up being friends. We message each other occasionally or cheer each other on. There's
Oh,
not I mean, we're competitive, but we're still friends. It's which is really nice. Just nice people, nice people.
Yeah.
And it's very nice to me. I've never been an athlete in my life, so this is my first athletic endeavor. My family are athletes; they're all runners, but not me. So
Yeah. Well, I think it's great because you're like paving the way. You're starting a new trend. You're starting a new, I guess you could say legacy, because it's like people look at, just like how when I started too, and I became super passionate about it, and I was just like, yeah, I want to do this for forever, and I want to get my family into it, or at least if they don't, like they could just look at what I did and be like, well, this is what Serena liked to do, and here's all her Instagram photos to prove it. So, and you seem to really have a really good relationship with your professor, because you seem to just like listen to him what he says, and he's just like, I'm gonna tell you to do this, and you're gonna do it. But he sounds like he's confident in you, and that's a great professor to have.
it is. We have three professors in the gym. He owns Cliff Oliveira owns the gym, and he's the one that got me started in it. Most of my classes are with Professor Pedro, who's hilariously funny, but a really good three-stripe black belt.
Yeah.
And then Leo came in, and he teaches mostly the kids class. They're all from Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazilians are just lovely. They're very religious. They're super
Yeah.
nice, very encouraging. Um, so I've really I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I have.
Yeah. Have they taught you some Portuguese?
I can count to 10
Oh,
because we do
wow.
it at every
Yeah. I love that.
about 10 of my Portuguese. I wish I learned more. Heck, I have trouble with English.
Yeah. I mean, I thought I'd be fluent in Portuguese by this time of training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but that's a whole different, thing to learn. So I'm not there yet either. How is it like when you do go to training and when you go to train, you obviously, we have the technique portion and then we have the sparring portion. How has that been like for you from when you first started sparring? Was that like, did it take you some, classes to start to get sparring with people and get the confidence? And how do you navigate that?
they they start you sparring pretty, within the first 3 or 4 classes. That's my favorite thing. I like the fighting. So
Yeah.
I like that. Even if I'm with a really big guy, most of the time, if they're going to defend, until they get tired of me, and then they just pick me up and put me off to the side. Oh
Oh.
well. It's, I was with a weightlifter, one of the guy that teaches weightlifting in our gym, and he's so big, and I was on top, and I was hanging on so tight, and he just sort of bench pressed me right off. It was like, okay, well,
That's
there was no
so
way.
Oh
I was
man.
trying to hang on really tight, but it just didn't work. It didn't work.
That's
A lot of
awesome.
times, yeah, if it's a new guy that doesn't know me and maybe he's a white belt or something, I'll say, are you going to beat up your grandmother tonight? And they go, no, don't say that. So then they're usually it's me.
That- That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, I mean, it sounds like you've had a really good, positive experience with sparring. No, but because I remember when I first started jiu-jitsu as well, I love the sparring as well. And there can be some people who I guess even if you're a female or even if like I just gave birth, and it's like I'm always telling people like, well, actually no, I'm not telling them a lot right now, but when I first started going back after I gave birth, I was like, yeah, I just gave birth. Can we just kind of flow? um yeah, but I love that you just roll with, your teammates and the guys in your gym, especially the bigger ones are, they're mindful of you. At least I hope a lot of them will be, especially in the future, and just continuing to have good training. I think that's the biggest thing about jujitsu. And when you get involved in a gym and you become family, it's like it's not just like fighting to beat each other up, but it's like fighting and you're bonding and it's like a dance. Um,
It is. It is.
I love that. Do you have any other hobbies or sports that you like to do aside from jujitsu?
Well, I am a horseback rider. I trail ride. I've got two horses at my place now. My third horse is over with my daughter because we've moved in
Wow.
the small place. We're building another house. So until that
Wow.
gets built, we're over at this place. But I was riding, 3 or 4 times a week. Now, I haven't in the last year. My horse has been hurt, and then hot weather hit, and it's been horrible down here in Alabama. So
Oh
I'm
my
waiting for the weather
gosh.
to look a bit before we get back onto the trails. But I've been riding since I was 2 years old. So I
Oh
can
my
stay on a
gosh.
I know how to hang on. I think it's helped with my grips because I have a very
Yes.
my age because I've been hanging on to a 1,400-pound horse for the last 14 years, and
That's
he's a big boy. He's a big old boy, and when he gets upset, it's a lot of upset underneath you.
That's amazing. That's literally what I was gonna say. It's like, well, you've been wrestling horses, so it doesn't surprise me that you kind of just fell into jujitsu naturally. And I actually, so I spent some time in Lexington, Kentucky, and I made some friends that did have horses and took care of horses. So they in Guam, we don't have a lot of horses there. We actually don't have there's probably like one or two horses like hiding in the jungle somewhere, but there's
Oh, wow.
no, just kidding. We don't got no horses, but yeah, when I went out to Kentucky, I really got to kind of spend some time with horses and it was amazing. I don't think I ever got to ride any like I think they put me on one, but then I don't think like we did some riding or anything like that. But yeah, that's incredible. Do you have like a favorite type of horse, or like do you have like a horse that's like you're kind of like you're really close to?
Yes, I ride a Missouri fox trotter. He's a black and white Missouri fox trotter. He's about 16 two hands, 1,400 pounds, which means he's well over my head. His back is, and
Wow.
I've had him since he was 2 years old. He's 16 now, so he's my horse. He's my go-to horse. If he's hurt or not feeling well, I may take one of the other horses.
Yeah.
If I'm going right, normally I ride Tattoo. He's my baby.
Wait, his name is what?
Tattoo,
Tattoo?
Tattoo.
I love that.
He's
Wow.
really, I mean, he's got a funny personality. He really does.
Oh my
He's
God.
a bulldozer. He knocks my fences down and drags buckets around. I mean, he's
And
a
and
Dennis the Menace, black and white suit. I swear.
and you said like so he's 16 now. So you guys like basically kind of grew up together and
We did. I was really reluctant to get that young a horse when I was in my, you know, that late in my life. He may outlive me. I mean, I don't know. My first horse lived to be 36.
wow.
So, and he's 16. So, I mean, if he lived a good long time, he might beat me to the horsey heaven or something, wherever I'm going.
Oh, that's amazing that you have a bond with such like horses are amazing animals.
My horse, and I do a lot of stuff with my grandkids. My grandson and I go four wheeling. If you've ever seen a four wheeler, it's
Yeah.
sort of a motorcycle four wheels. So
Yeah.
we get out in the woods, run through the woods with four wheeler, or we're just playing around together. I live on a farm, so it's
That's
a
so
lot of fun.
fun. So you said that you have what is it? You live on a farm. Is there other than horses, do you guys take care of any other like animals or anything? I know you mentioned other animals earlier.
5 dogs and 7 cats. One cat is in my house. 5 of the cats are at the barn, and one cat lives on the front porch. We had a disaster this morning. One of my dogs got out that it's not cat friendly or anything else. And I knew he would either try to kill my cat or go to the neighbors and try to kill their chickens. So I was chasing him all over the place. I finally cornered him in the top of my hayloft trying to eat one of my cats. And she was up in the loft, so she got away from him. But I was going, oh, this is not good.
Oh my gosh.
That's for sure.
Wow.
I work for an animal, so we see a lot of animals coming in and out of our place. I foster animals for the rescue. I do some paperwork for them and transport animals. I think we're getting a new shepherd coming in probably in the next 2 weeks.
That's
Nice
amazing.
dog.
Yeah.
Hope
That's amazing.
I eat my.
Wow. I love that. That just sounds like the life, honestly.
It is. I'll have to admit, it's really a nice life. It really is. When we moved, I got to design the house we're going to live in. So, and that's really fun for me. So that they're in the process of building it up. They're going to put the roof on in a little while, and just being able to see the rooms that I sat down on a piece of paper and drew out, it's great.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, congrats. So you said you've been ziplining, tent camping, riding in the mountains. When you say riding in the mountains, you mean horseback riding, right?
I have a trailer. It's a 3-horse slant load trailer, and it has living quarters. So I put my horse in the trailer, and my friends and I go to Tennessee or Georgia or Florida or wherever we're going, and we camp and put the horses in the stalls. There are places, for horseback riders. And we'll ride 3 or 4 hours, maybe take a lunch, come home and rest, and ride again, maybe cook over the fire. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I usually take a dog.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, like, you gotta bring like your jiu-jitsu teammates out there too, because I feel like a lot of us jiu-jitsu people, we train jiu-jitsu and then we go like, especially out here in California, we train jiu-jitsu and then we go friggin' to the beach, or we go, or we go like work out even more. But it's like horseback riding out there, camping in the mountains. That sounds like a really cool thing to do too.
It is. I took 2 of my grandkids zip lining a few years ago. Now that was really fun. I had never done it, and they hadn't either. So we had a really good time. Also took them. We went whitewater rafting and tent camping, which was in.
Okay, wait a minute. You sound like just the fun grandma. That's what you said.
Yeah. I'm the fun grandma.
The adventurous one. I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, I need to go with you sometime. Uh, whitewater rafting. I've never been whitewater rafting, so sounds like a thrill.
Fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It is. I'll tell you something else I did too, and you might think about this. You can talk to me later. I'll tell you what to do when your baby gets older. But I had grand at my house one summer. Once a week, all the grandkids would come to the house and spend the day, and we'd do science experiments. I taught them how to box. I taught them self-defense. We went horseback riding. We did blew out Coke bottles. We cooked biscuits. One time we made shorts for everybody. Everybody made their own pairs of shorts. I taught them how to sew and put on a button and stuff like that. We had the most fun. It was great.
Oh my gosh.
I'm hoping to do that again when we get into our other house, get the grandkids back and start again.
That. I love that so much. That's insane. So they're all probably like, let's go to grandma's. Like they're probably like begging mom and dad to go see you every weekend, because I know I would. That's amazing.
Well, they live on farms too, so it's not like they don't have their own horses, dogs, and cats.
That's amazing though. That sounds like so much fun. And has your husband wanted to join you at any point? Have you tried to drag him on the mats?
I did. He went and tried it. I guess it was last year. but my husband has vertigo. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, my dad has vertigo too.
Motion, right. So the first thing when they flipped him over just from his front to his back, not over his head, he was so sick he didn't know where he was. In weeks, he was still nauseated.
Wow.
He has it really bad, and so
Yeah.
he cannot do it. He just cannot do it. He's an athlete, always has been. He was a distance runner for Auburn University, and a
Wow.
basketball player, but he can't do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But he's happy to do it, so that's good.
Yeah, for sure. Well, at least he can, I mean, I'm sorry that he experienced that, and I hope that one day he will. Hopefully, his vertigo will go away or something, and he'll just be able to join
Yeah.
you.
He's fixing to be 75. It isn't going away.
Yeah.
He's had it. He started dating when I was 15, and he's had it ever since I've known him. He just, for what reason?
Yeah, I saw that you mentioned high school sweetheart. That's amazing. Congratulations to you guys. That's a really great just thing to have somebody since high school. I mean, that's like something everybody wants. So that's awesome.
It is. We met in chemistry class, and I learned a lot about chemistry, but it wasn't from the book. It was from,
It was from him.
it was from him. I was totally fascinated with him. I'll admit I was. So
That's
there you go.
So you guys had chemistry in chemistry class.
I almost flunked that class because of him. I wasn't paying attention to the teacher. I was paying attention to Werner.
You were like, I need some help with with my test. Can you help me? Well, not test, but maybe homework. That is so cute. I love that. I love that so much. So I just got a weird notification on my Zoom thing that and I didn't even know that they had this, but it says that I need to upgrade my plan because they're cutting off the time, I guess, to record or something. So I think what we can do either is we can end it here and we could, hopefully do this again, or we could if there's anything else you'd like to talk about, we can I can just end the recording and then I guess I could start a new one and then edit it all together unless you have somewhere to go. I know we started a little bit late, so we could end it here too. And if there's anything you'd like to add, you have a minute. We have like a minute and 5 seconds.
Well, I'm going to have to end it because my husband, it started raining, which means he'll be home in a few minutes. And as soon as he walks in the door, it'll be bedlam in here because the dogs will be barking. That'll be the end of us trying to converse in some quiet way.
Yeah, of course.
Up at a time when you want to, but it's so great talking to you.
You
Thank
too.
you so much.
No, you're welcome, Elaine. I'm so glad to have you. And yeah, I just hope that you keep doing it, and I know you will because you seem like the type of person to just live a beautiful, fulfilling life. So keep doing what you're doing, girl. You're doing great.
Thank you so much. Kiss your baby for me.
I will. Thank you.